if Swamiji was still around with us, what are some things he would have implemented for the benefit of devotees? Right? So this is the question you asked. Now, Vijaya, of course, it's a very straightforward question, but it's a very hypothetical question, right? So how would anybody know if Swamiji were here, what he would have done, right? I mean, it is 27 years now since Swamiji took Mahasamadhi. Okay. And then before taking the Mahasamadhi, Swamiji was extremely sick for about 3 years. Okay. So basically, I mean, to our eyes, right, as we could see him physically with that physical body, he wasn't doing anything. He was just lying on the bed, struggling and suffering with that sickness. Okay. Although he would come to the dayas even in that state every evening and give darshan to devotees. Okay. But from my last answer that I gave regarding the karma, regarding taking over the karma of the river Kaveri, you should understand how a yogi works, right? The physical body is lying there. It is sick. It is being treated by doctors. It is being put on dialysis. Yet, the yogi is doing a lot more at the other levels, right? At the astral level. He is doing a lot of work which we don't even understand. Okay? So again, I mean, the question that you're talking about is, if Swamiji had continued to live in his physical body and healthy, okay, what all could have happened in the mission for the sake of devotees? Of course, see, the whole mission is for the sake of devotees only, right? It is not for Swamiji. If these ashrams have been built, these buildings have been built, all that is for the devotees only, not for Swamiji. He doesn't need any of this, right? So what I would like to do is extrapolate in a very big way from what he did before 91, before he fell sick. Again, looking at the physical body and what he did in the physical body. Because even I don't know what all he would have done, or he did, or he is doing even today in the astral plane. I mean, I cannot go there and see what he is doing today, or what he did, or what he could have done, right? So I am trying to extrapolate from what I saw him doing while in that physical body, okay? And trying to see, I mean, I'm just trying to imagine, I'll tell you what could have happened. That's all, right? I'm not really giving you the answer, Vijaya. I'm just asking you to imagine along with me, that's all. Okay, what could have happened? So instead of telling you what could have happened, I'll tell you what happened until 91. Okay, so from that, we should be able to imagine what could have happened if Swamiji was physically living in a body and with us and working with us. In 1987, Swamiji went to the UK for the first time. Okay. Now, personally, me, I was not sure. No, okay, here is a yogi. This is the first time he's traveling out of the Indian, what shall I say, subcontinent. Okay. I mean, he had been to Sri Lanka, but Sri Lanka, again, there are a lot of people from the Sanatana Dharma, Tamilians, okay, people who worship the same gods that we do, people who are used to the same yogis, yoga, tapas, all that, right? The same rituals and all that. Their traditions are the same. Their culture is the same as ours. Maybe a little difference. But now he is leaving the Indian subcontinent and traveling to the UK, where the whole culture is different. The people are very different there. So how would they respond to Swamiji? Okay. So this was the curiosity in my mind. And unlike now, there were no mobile phones then. There were only landlines. And we couldn't afford making calls from here to London to speak to Swamiji or Swamiji's disciples and understand what was happening there. Okay. So only once in a week, Swamiji would call from there. I mean, Swamiji's devotees would call from wherever he is staying in the UK. And we all would sit near the telephone and then listen to what is happening there. And whatever the devotee told us, we would understand only that much. Okay. And he went there, I think, towards the end of September or beginning of October. And he stayed on there for 3 months. He came back for the birthday function in January, which is on the 24th of January. Okay. So just about 10 days before that, I think he returned to India again to Bangalore. So that in a way was the answer. Had the trip not been successful, if there were no programs being conducted, Swamiji wouldn't have continued to stay there. So the very fact that he stayed there for 3 months on the very first trip to the UK, I could understand that everything is going on well. Swamiji is happy with whatever is going on. That is why he is staying on for a long time. Okay. Then the real surprise came to me when, for the birthday function of Swamiji, there were devotees from the UK, foreigners, okay, not Indians. They were Germans, Americans, British. Those devotees came to Bangalore Ashram. I mean, I was totally surprised. My God, one visit, and this yogi goes on a trip to the UK, and he comes back. And 10 days later, you have 3-4 devotees coming from there, all the way from London to Bangalore, just to spend time with him again, just to see his ashram. So that was the surprise. Okay. Then 88, again he went back to the UK. And it seems some devotees came from the US to see him in the UK. They had his darshan. They invited him over to the USA. And from UK itself, he flew to the USA. 88, okay, first trip to the USA. So this is how it worked, okay. Again, we would get some calls, but then we wouldn't know much from the calls, right? Now, I understood what happened only when I went along with him in the year 1990. And when I saw how the programs went on, how people used to attend, how close they had become to Swamiji, okay? Just like the disciples in India. How he would joke and laugh and discuss with them and have the meetings. I mean, I was totally surprised. I didn't expect that at all.
You won that. You won that. It's lucky. He says you still have one there. That's he'll be in the US. I don't know when in Boston.
And when I saw how the programs went on, how people used to attend, how close they had become to Swamiji, okay? Just like the disciples in India. You know, how he would joke and laugh and discuss with them and have the meetings. I mean, I was totally surprised. I didn't expect that at all. Okay? And mind you, most of them were Westerners, okay? It's not that they were non-resident Indians who are used to the same culture, so they know what a yogi is. No. Most of them were Westerners, and they came to Swamiji. They became his devotees. They learned to perform the bhajans. They were doing the meditation morning and night. They would come to where Swamiji was staying, and people would travel 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles just to come and be with Swamiji for that 2 hours or 3 hours in the evening every day at the programs. Okay, so this simply shocked me. I mean, I never expected that such a thing would happen. Okay, this is as regards the actual programs that were happening. Okay, and I mean, needless to state, the devotees themselves would buy the tickets for Swamiji and the person who was accompanying Swamiji. So they would organize all the arrangements there, the travel for Swamiji, the plane tickets for all the travel within the US. I mean, when he each time he went to the US, he would fly to something like 13, 15, 23 destinations, okay? And the local devotees used to buy all the tickets for him as well as the person who was traveling along with him, you know? And all other arrangements were being made by them. Now, this is as far as the programs go. Now, look at this part, okay? He went to the UK in 87. 88, he established a trust in the UK. Because the Indian trust, he already had a trust in India. He had established a trust in India in 1965. But that trust's jurisdiction is limited to India, the geographical limits of India. So work in the UK cannot be done under this trust. So he established a trust in the UK. 88, he went to the UK, to the USA. 89, he established 2 trusts in the USA. One on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. Okay? So there were local devotees appointed as trustees there. In the UK trust, both the USA trusts. They were supposed to take care of the organization, Swamiji's programs, Swamiji's mission, all over there. Okay? So when I went in 1990, the enthusiasm that I saw, and then the mere size of the work that was to be done. Swamiji was doing his work. I mean, I cannot help him there. But then the rest of the job that had to be done, interacting with the devotees there, if not anything, just organizing the next trip, planning the next trip, attending the telephone calls from there. The person who is organizing the tour from there, he would call Swamiji almost on a daily basis, keep updating him. Swamiji, this station also, they also want you to come there. They also want you to come there. Then the next city, they also want you to come there. Shall we go ahead and organize the program? So Swamiji had to talk, but then he couldn't talk English. So I had to be there to answer the phone calls and to guide them, to translate, to interpret between Swamiji and those devotees and organize this trip. Okay? Now, that enthusiasm was so much. I mean, I'm talking about the enthusiasm of the devotees in the USA and the UK. Okay? That was so much that I felt I was only wasting my time here, spending 8 hours a day in my job. Okay? Being so close to Swamiji and then being able to take care of the mission work in this way, at least. I mean, it was only then that I got to know what the mission work was. Okay? Until then, I used to give a bath to Swamiji, take care of his personal needs and spend time with Swamiji, talk to him, listen to all the stories. That's all. But now I'm talking about 1990, right? I realized what the mission is. What is the work that needs to be done in the mission? And the mission that was limited to India until then, India and Sri Lanka, suddenly exploded. Okay. It had gone to the UK, it had gone to the USA, and then it had gone to Italy. And people from other countries started visiting him. They used to come to Bangalore, they used to talk to him, they used to invite him. He was invited to France also. I mean, which he could not make, he couldn't go there. Okay, now when all this was happening, I mean, I started feeling that I'm wasting my time just trying to earn some salary, where I was actually living in an ashram, eating at the ashram. So I offered to Swamiji, Swamiji, there's so much work to be done. Please, with your permission, I would like to leave my job and spend all my time doing the mission work. Swamiji said, no, continue your job and continue doing the mission work. And do 1 hour of meditation every day. Okay, so this was Swamiji's advice. Okay, well, so that is how the mission grew from 87 to 91. Okay, now this is one aspect. So from this, you should be able to extrapolate from 91, if he had continued the work, how the mission would have grown by now. We are talking of 30 years, right? Okay. So that is one aspect of it. Let us look at the second part of it, right? We all know that Swamiji was very interested in the gadgets, technology, okay? Lot of saints that we know were reluctant to get onto a plane and then fly out of the country. There were some old beliefs, so they didn't want to travel out of the country. Swamiji had no such inhibitions, okay? In India, he would travel by car, he would travel by train, he would travel by flight, and he had no inhibition, no objection to fly to other countries also and perform his mission work there. So in 1984, Swamiji purchased a video camera. Okay. It's thanks to that video camera, we have so many of his videos from 84 onwards until about 91. All those videos were recorded with that camera. Now, why I'm talking about this is, in 1994, when I got my hands on that video camera, no one in Bangalore had a video camera. You understand? At the ashram, there was a black and white TV. And as soon as the color TV came here, the devotees from Sri Lanka, Yashoda Akka's family, they gifted a color TV to Swamiji. And we were, I mean, the ashram, the Bangalore ashram, we were the first ones to own a color TV. And we would watch the color TV, okay? Then the video camera, nobody in Bangalore had a video camera. Maybe one or two, but not that I know of. There were many devotees who were quite well-to-do. There were many devotees who were very educated, were in very high positions in government, in the military, in the Air Force. He made sure that he purchased the video camera. If he hadn't done that, we wouldn't have had these wonderful videos that we watch again and again and enjoy so much. Okay? So the point I'm trying to make is, all the technology that is available, that was available at that time, Swamiji would leverage that for his mission, for the benefit of devotees. Okay? So just imagine what he would have done with the kind of technology that is available today. I am talking about 1984. What is that? 36 years ago. How much has technology developed now? If this technology was available to Swamiji, try to imagine what all he could have done. We are doing a Zoom meeting like this. Imagine what Swamiji could have done with this kind of technology available to him. Okay? So that's one aspect I wanted to just bring out to you. Of course, it should not, the devotees who are listening to me, who are in this program, shouldn't think that Swamiji is not doing anything now. I'm sorry. Swamiji is doing a lot of work even now, even after the Mahasamadhi, in the astral plane. Okay? He comes and he is with us through trance, or even otherwise through his photographs, through his samadhis, through his idols, statues. Okay? He is with us. He is present with us. The promise he made was, wherever 3 or 4 devotees, minimum 3 or 4 devotees of Swamiji get together and discuss the mission, discuss Swamiji, be assured that Swamiji will be there in his astral form. Okay? That's the assurance. That's the promise that we have from him. And that's what happens even now. So the work is continuing. But I am trying to answer the question that you asked as to if Swamiji were physically living now, what could he have done? What would he have done for the mission? Okay. Just to mention another aspect, he had given TV interviews, radio interviews in the USA at that time when he was there. Okay. I mean, there is another aspect I just wanted to mention here. Maybe some of you, or maybe many of you, feel that we don't see that kind of enthusiasm or that kind of growth or size or popularity in Swamiji's mission, right? Yes. Unfortunately, immediately after the Mahasamadhi, a lot of things happened, I mean, which should not have happened. Okay. Some devotees, for their own selfish sake, with vested interests, had done things which were very bad for the mission. Okay. So basically, I have to say that in spite of that, in spite of all the harm that was done to the mission, immediately after the Mahasamadhi of Swamiji, okay, Swamiji somehow, working in the astral plane, had to keep the mission running to this extent. Okay. Even today, so many new devotees who did not know Swamiji while he was in his physical body, right, who never met him, who never saw him, who never heard about him, are today his devotees in huge numbers, right, all over. But it's not at the level that it would have been had the mission continued with the kind of, what shall I say, the enthusiasm, right? The momentum that Swamiji gave the mission until 91, had that continued, it would have become so big, so huge, so effective that we cannot imagine that. Okay, so we have to only extrapolate from what happened until 91 and just imagine that. But then we pray to Swamiji that today he gives us the blessings, all his devotees all over the world, to somehow again bring it back to that glory, okay? And then work on it for our own benefit, right? For the benefit of devotees, for the benefit of the current devotees, present devotees, and the devotees who would come to him in the next generations. They're already there, right? We have lots of children of devotees who are participating in the mission work, doing bhajans, doing the meditation, okay? So it is for their sake that we pray to Swamiji to bring back the glory that was once there in Swamiji's mission and help us, advise us, guide us, make sure that we don't bring our own egos as hurdles in the mission, and we work for the mission. We all work for the mission. Okay. So with that prayer, I would like to end this answer to this question.